Blackstone Audio presents Maps in a Mirror, the short fiction of Orson Scott Card. Book 1, The Hanged Man, Tales of Dread. Read by David Birney, Richard Brewer, Scott Brick, Artie Johnson, Rosalind Landor, Don Leslie, Stephen Rudnicki, and Myron Willis, with an introduction and afterword read by Orson Scott Card.
Introduction. I can't watch horror or suspense movies in the theater. I've tried, but the tension becomes too much for me. The screen is too large, the figures are too real. I always end up having to get up, walk out, go home. It's more than I can bear. You know where I end up watching those movies? At home. On cable TV. That little screen is so much safer. The familiar scenes of my home surround it. And when it gets too tense, I can flip away, watch reruns of Dick Van Dyke or Green Acres or some utterly lame Depression-era movie until I calm down enough to flip back and see how things turned out. That's how I watched Aliens and The Terminator. I never have watched them beginning to end. I realize that by doing this, I'm subverting the filmmaker's art, which is linear. But then, my TV's remote control has turned viewing into a participatory art. I can now perform my own recutting on films that are too upsetting for my taste. For me, Lethal Weapon is much more pleasurable when intercut with fragments of Wild and Beautiful on Ibiza and Life on Earth. Which brings us to the most potent tool of storytellers. Fear. And not just fear, but dread. Dread is the first and the strongest of the three kinds of fear. It is that tension, that waiting, that comes when you know there is something to fear but you have not yet identified what it is. The fear that comes when you first realize that your spouse should have been home an hour ago, when you hear a strange sound in the baby's bedroom, when you realize that a window you are sure you closed is now open, the curtains billowing, and you're alone in the house. Terror only comes when you see the thing you're afraid of. The intruder is coming at you with a knife. The headlights coming toward you are clearly in your lane. The Klansmen have emerged from the bushes, and one of them is holding a rope. This is when all the muscles of your body, except perhaps the sphincters, tauten, and you stand rigid, or you scream, or you run. There is a frenzy to this moment, a climactic power, but it is the power of release, not the power of tension. And bad as it is better than dread in this respect. Now, at least, you know the face of the thing you fear. You know its border.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?